Battle through the firmament. Grand world. Chapter 304. The final killing move. Under the impact of the huge fists and palms, the origin monic key rumbled, causing the air to explode. In an instant, the cyclone that was created began to fluctuate intensely, causing some of the students who were close to the main platform to involuntarily close their eyes. Boom! After a moment of stalemate, following a deafening explosion, Xiaoyan and Bai Yongzhao both retreated backwards, leaving deep marks on the ground. Bai Yongzhao took 5 to 6 steps back before he finally stopped. His cold eyes glanced at Xiaoyan. The latter merely shook his shoulders and completely eliminated the force behind his retreat. Your strength has indeed increased. Bai Yongzhao clenched his teeth and spoke in a deep voice. Xiaoyan's origin monic key earlier had a qualitative breakthrough compared to before. The energy contained within it was endless. If the quality of the origin monic key was also divided into different grades, then the quality of Xiaoyan's origin monic key was much better than his. Clenching his fist, the corner of Xiaoyan's mouth couldn't help but twitch. The sudden increase in strength after the combination of yin and yang seemed to have exceeded his imagination, let alone the results of his recent cultivation. Show me your true strength. Otherwise, you won't even know how you lost. Looking at Bai Yongzhao, Xiaoyan suddenly smiled and said slowly, "Arrogant." Bai Yongzhao's face twitched when he heard this. He sneered and shouted in a low voice. His body bent down like a bow. Light circulated all over his body. A scarlet color gradually surged onto his deeply sunken eyes. Lion King Lai. Bai Yongzhao's eyes were blood red. His body shot out explosively like a bolt of lightning, and the crimson origin kiss on his body surged out. He was like a blood-red lion that was roaring wildly, and every single move he made was sufficient to tear apart space. The giant lion roared. The origin key wreaked havoc. Its voice was like rumbling thunder as it rolled over. Everywhere it passed, deep marks were left on the ground. Shattered rocks scattered in all directions, and dust filled the sky. You don't even need the 6 shattering heavens spear. Seeing the monic skill unleashed by Bai Yongzhao, Xiaoyan's facial expression became serious. Although this attack was quite fierce, it still lacked the suppressive force of the 6 sky-splitting spear. Although Bai Yongzhao's strength had increased by a huge margin compared to before, Xiaoyan's strength could not be compared to before. After the combination of yin and yang, his strength was more than enough to deal with any ordinary attack. Qi. The origin monic key on both of his arms surged. Xiaoyan clenched both of his fists tightly. With a determined expression, he attacked Bai Yongzhao with both of his fists. A moment ago, Xiaoyan had leapt up. He held the sky spill fist in his right hand and the heaven's top fist in his left. The wind from his fist was whistling, and it was as if a tiger was roaring in the wind. Although the 2 punches were only at the monic spell level, the power of Xiaoyan's punch had increased exponentially with his current strength. As he swung his fists, it seemed as if he was going to shatter the space around him, causing the origin monic key around him to let out a hissing sound. You want to fight me head-on? On the grandstand, Yuan Shenmu furrowed his brows. Although the 2 of them had only exchanged a few moves, he could feel that Xiaoyan's strength was completely different from when he was in the capital of chaos. Bai Yongzhao's Lion King Lai is considered one of the most powerful types of high-grade monic spell. Although it can't be compared to the 6 sky-splitting spear, its power can't be underestimated. This Xiaoyan's strength is only at the 8 monic spirit, and he wants to fight Bai Yongzhao head-on. Below the stage, Wu Shaoqi crossed her arms across her chest. Her eyes were bright as she looked curiously at the intense battle on the stage. Xiaoyan waved both of his fists, and like a war god that shattered the stars, he punched towards Bai Yongzhao with endless force. Bai Yongzhao's eyes were blood red, and his waist was like a tiger. The giant lion behind him rushed forward with a loud bang and lunged at Xiaoyan. Buzz! In the next moment, under everyone's gaze, a series of cracking sounds suddenly burst out, as if the air had exploded. Then, everyone saw the giant red lion on Bai Yongzhao's body stop with great difficulty. Under Xiaoyan's punch, clear cracks spread out on the giant lion's incorporeal body. Xiaoyan's eyes were as sharp as a sword. Even though his fists were covered in blood, he still punched out with a whistling sound. Bai Yongzhao's expression was ugly. He could clearly feel that the Lion King's intense energy was being depleted. Under the bombardment of Xiaoyan's fists, the move that he was so proud of actually failed to produce any results. Boom! Bai Yongzhao's eyes were blood red. He made a prompt decision and threw out both of his hands. The broken giant lion roared and rushed out. With the help of this force, Bai Yongzhao stumbled backwards, dodging Xiaoyan's attack. Xiaoyan furiously shouted. The origin monic ki in his body kept pouring into his fists, violently shattering the roaring giant lion and turning it into nothingness. Relying on his physical strength, he forcefully shattered Bai Yongzhao's powerful attack. Xiaoyan retracted his fists. Blood was flowing out from the back of his hands, and his skin was cracking inch by inch. Obviously, Xiaoyan wouldn't be able to withstand Bai Yongzhao's deadly attack so easily. Husband Xiaoyan's hand. Zuna's eyes were sharp. The moment she saw Xiaoyan withdraw his hands, she saw the blood flowing out of his hands. Kaylin shook her head, and the corner of her mouth revealed a charming and enchanting smile. This kind of injury is nothing. I estimate that Bai Yongzhao's injuries are far greater than the injuries on Xiaoyan's hands. Zuna understood when she heard this. She smiled and looked at Bai Yongzhao. The latter's expression was dark and solemn at this moment. His entire body was trembling slightly. It could be seen that his heart was not calm. Xiaoyan. At this moment, Ye's eyes below the stage contained a coldness. Both of his fists were clenched tightly in the white robe. Anyone could see that in the previous battle, Xiaoyan had obviously gained the upper hand. This fellow had only been in the academy for a month. His strength had actually soared. When he fought with Bai Yongzhao in Heavenly Peak, although he was powerful, he was still far from being put in his eyes. But now, his strength had actually reached such an extent. Wu. Mahiyu smiled lightly and raised her head slightly. A soul-stirring purple color suddenly flashed in her beautiful eyes. The purple color enveloped her eyes like a dream. The aura in my body is so vigorous. Looking at Xiaoyan, Mahiyu's eyes moved slightly. The purple light circulated and seemed to see through Xiaoyan. Not bad, not bad. Wu Shaoqi giggled, and her beautiful eyes revealed a strong desire to fight. This saint-rank trial participant did have some ability. I guess I can use my strongest move now. Xiaoyan didn't care about the blood stains on his fists. He stared at Bai Yongzhao with a sharp gaze, and said in a low voice. Wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth, Bai Yongzhao looked at Xiaoyan. His eyes were no longer as cold as before. Instead, there was a trace of calmness in his eyes. He stood still and said slowly, as expected of the saint-rank trial participant. Xiaoyan, you are indeed very strong. I have to admit that after a month of cultivation, I am still not a match for you. Zuna and Kaylin were right to choose you. However, my next move is also my last move. I will let you take a good look at it. The reputation of the top 10 students in the Soaring Dragon ranking is not something that can be revealed. Bai Yongzhao changed the topic and said in a deep voice. I am looking forward to it. Xiaoyan's heart moved, but he still smiled and said, that's good. The corner of Bai Yongzhao's mouth raised slightly, and a fierce look emerged in his deep eyes. Boom! In the next moment, the entire sky was filled with turbulent winds and clouds. Countless origin monic ki crazily rushed towards Bai Yongzhao, and the one behind him stood straight. His face was pale, and his fingers were forming seals. Under his control, all the origin monic ki was poured into his back. Bai Yongzhao's strongest attack. Lu Xiangyang's face was gloomy as he stared at Xiaoyan and Bai Yongzhao. The sudden increase in Xiaoyan's strength had given him a bad feeling. 6 Sky-Splitting Spear. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.